to my guy. To get my muffler fixed. Well, to try to get it silent. And my guy is no longer my guy. He sold the business. And I think it's because of COVID. And this isn't good. This is bad. This is really bad. That were keeping the muffler up were almost all rusted solid and breaking off. And so I am not with a muffler right now. That's the reason why it is very noisy. Probably should be speaking up, but this is kind of a really weird situation. Fortunately for me, I have this little reprieve because July I would have had to get the car inspected, but because of COVID, I couldn't get an appointment. My inspection got delayed all the way up until November, and that's the reasons why I have a November sticker and not a July sticker. Pushing myself is probably a little too much, but it's coming along. I'm gonna stop talking about can't see the difference between what's a bot and what's not. I don't know what is a bot and what's not. I'm very angry with bots to begin with. I know that what happened with me on YouTube with the copyright claim, removal of my video and everything like that, that was all done by bots. What happened to me on Twitch, though, it's definitely a blurred line. They actually wrote me an apology. They actually did, a lot of things to try to help me out after, they could not find the evidence that they thought was there. That the evidence that, was brought to their attention, it looked like it should be there. And, to take some responsibility, I wasn't watching how I said. Things that I said, things that I still say, can be taken way out of context. And used in such a manner that is almost, it's disgusting. It really was disgusting. I don't know what the end game was of the person who did this to me. I know that I've dealt with a lot of bullies in my life. And I try my best to understand why people bully. Why people force their opinions and their views and all that stuff upon others, especially people they feel are weaker than them. And the person who reported me, not a big streamer. We're going on 7 months now since the suspension. So, it's been about 7 months. And they still are where they were in December. They do have more followers. They have more of a, they're more involved in their community and stuff like that. Or communities, sorry. And fortunately for me, it's very easy. I had one main community where they were connected almost directly to me, and of course, as you all know, I'm not very silent about things that I think, things that I say, and the truth of the matter is that I was not holding back, but I just wasn't participating as much in that community. And all I really was doing was just helping out, going into chats, and when the person who did this to me, came in or, chimed in, or if they were already there when I came in, I would just leave. So there's a lot of times that I'd come in, I'd say hi, and then that was it. I didn't even stay long enough to say goodbye, or there, I'm there. I obviously don't watch their streams. You know, I just don't support them in any way. I don't. It would be wrong of me to support them. It took a long time for me to block them. I don't block anybody, and yeah, except for spam bots and things like that. But it took a long time to block them. I don't feel good or bad about doing it. When I finally did it, because it took me a long time. I mean, it wasn't until in my eureka moment that I even think like, oh, I should be blocking them, because I felt that if anything, you know, I think I'm blocked by them, which is one of the reasons why we don't have much contact. But I haven't checked it, I haven't tested it, and I'm not going to. But yeah, it took me a little bit to realize that I should. You know, so if they get the notion of like unblocking me so they can send me another fake apology message, I'm not listening anymore. They can see these videos, and if they did YouTube, they would be able to. I would be able to see their videos if they came out. I don't think they've been. You know, how ironic would it be that the one person who basically is tormenting me is my one viewer that goes through my videos and watches them for 4 seconds. Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of viewers that watch for a little bit longer than 4 seconds, but my average viewer, and especially people who basically watch multiple videos, usually like 10, 15 in a day, watch for about 4 seconds. It's like they're searching for something, but I don't see them, you know, finding something that they want to watch for any duration of time. So they could just be bots, which is most likely what they are. But it does inform my my viewing. Even if it's bots, but what people are clicking on, what people are watching, what tags are working. Started tagging, I was giving like 15 tags. Somebody told me like, no, only 3 maximum, maybe 1. So 1 to 3 tags. And they were like, you don't really have to even tag the videos. I now just use 1 tag. It's art, it's chatting, or games. Like this is chatting. That's the only tag that I give this. If it's something that like an emotional one, or a history. Sometimes I give it a second tag, but I rarely even now give 3 tags. Too much work. They're already going into a playlist. Each of the videos is already going into a playlist there. Tagging is just extra. The people I'm connecting to, and the people that are like in my sphere now, it really is. It is so different. It is different from when I first started out. Obviously, I'm trying to think if there's anybody who was there with me at the beginning who still, to be fair, the core group, the people who first subscribed to me here on YouTube, that core group of people, which was 10 people, are still there. I had one person when I was setting this site up. I had this page just sitting derelict. And it had about 10 people originally, and over the years, because it's now 8 years old, but it was 7 years old when I started. Maybe just under 7 years when I started, in the time between when I first created this and I had a bunch of people join, and when I started up as a streamer, those the six almost 7 years that it took me to get to this point. Oh my god, I freaking can't do a thought. The 6 years that it took me to, I ended up with one person, one follower by the time I started streaming. So I had one already built in, and then I got about 10 people, mostly friends and family that I've known forever. To give me a quick follow, and I adore the fact that they're still there. They don't watch my videos. They aren't a part of my everyday, journey in this. They are, basically my, pillars that sit outside the house. And I'm very grateful for them for what they are, but the truth of the matter is that they don't they're not really participants in this whole obviously the one person who was like, with me through nothing, went through nothingness, didn't, just made it the year of me streaming, and then finally dropped me. Which I'm a bit heartbroken over, if you really want to know the truth. But other than that, the people who were actually the ones who watched my early videos and were there at the beginning, and I'll give it the first 3 months of my streaming. Nobody's, if the ones that are still there, they're not really participating. And then you have like a second wave that came through when I set up a Twitch account and when I met a bunch of people and things like that. And that, extremely large group of like several hundred people is about down to 25, maybe 30. And then between that group, which is still, like I said, there's like 25, 30 people from that group still hanging about. I went through a period where I was like scoping around, and being a part of other communities, and doing my thing. Of all of those communities, that's all of those communities, my original one that came out from when I first started Twitch, which took them a little while before they started their grown group up and everything like that. They were part of that as well. They were part of that initial thing. All of those communities only ended up with one. And then from that one, we get to where we are today, which is a bunch of communities that have sprung up mostly from that community. But a few not attached to the community directly, and I adore them. And I don't like putting walls up, and I don't like to pretend like that I'm not protecting myself and that I'm open. But the truth is that I am protecting myself from the hurt, because it has hurt so much, especially when these communities let me know that I'm not their mutual, which is one of the reasons why with every community that I'm a part of from here, I am a mutual. There's a mutual exchange going on. Yes, you could say Iron Mouse and Project Melody and Silvervale and Yanners and Snuffy and Haruka, Zendrea, all of them. I think all the really large streamers that don't follow me. You can say that like I'm part of their communities and I'm part of their streams. I do still watch them when I have time, but we're not mutuals. So it's I give them the time that is not being eaten up by my community. People who my mutuals definitely have priority. I will stop watching Iron Mouse to watch a mutual any day. It's how that works. That wasn't always true. I had banter. You know, I've had banter. Here's the thing. I've had banter with Iron Mouse. I've had banter with Nuxtaku. I've had banter with Project Melody. I've bantered with them. It's watching their their streams now and being involved in chat is like there is no time. There is no more banter. It's basically, will they read your comment? But they weren't always so big. And I used to be able to have full-on conversations with them, joke and laugh, full-on conversations with them, with the people in the chat, with the science team, with the Precious family. I was all part of that. I have in my playlist that I listen to at work, songs that Iron Mouse sung, and she does a little banter beforehand, and she's reading my comments. We are literally talking to each other. Calliope Mori, actually, I have the song that she sang where she actually has banter with me. We actually talk. And, me typing in chat, but, and there's other people talking too. These chats have never been, quiet. Only one that I've ever seen where the chat went radio silence was with Silver Veil. And I think we were doing that bit, so she did a whole will you leave me thing, and we went silent on her. It's kind of an amazing thing, all these things. But yeah, I have no qualms, or there's no delusion there. I understand that their sphere, and I am not a mutual. I'm definitely not a mutual of Nuxtaku or Iron Mouse or any of them, and it is it's more reason why it's one of my sticklers with streamers I don't know. to get a new truck.
And that's all providing that nothing goes fucking wrong in the process. You just get 200,000, so chances are
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Just getting a little gas. Yeah. So, you know, it's one of the reasons why I'm a stickler with you know, you have to be my mutual, because it's not even worth. Even with the giveaways and stuff like that, which I want to support artists and everything like that, but even with those giveaways that people do, I'm not expecting to win, but I want to support artists, you know, and their art, and that's a promotional, and you know, it would be a shame if they only have 3 or 4 people entering their contest, and so I always enter those, and they always ask for a follow, and most of them don't follow back, and it's I don't even check you out now. I don't even go looking for your art. You know, the only experience that I have with most people's art, and there's exceptions. You know, there are people that it's just fascinating to see their art, and I go check them out. But once their contest is over and everything like that, I usually leave. And if they start it, some of them do perpetual. They have contest after contest after contest. And I think it's to build up a clientele. But you know, I'm only interested in being mutuals. You know, and I know that when you have even a couple thousand, or even several hundred followers, it's Iron Mouse has millions of followers. She's got millions of people following her, and this is what you're. When somebody talks about how they want to be known for their content, not known for their follow back, I mean, that's what your competition is. Iron Mouse doesn't have to follow me back for me to watch her, because her content does speak for itself. And to put it in even less interesting terms, I won't watch her if I'm doing something else. All my mutuals have to do is just say, hey, we're doing this, and I end up not watching Iron Mouse. And she's my go-to. Same thing with Project Melody, same things with Nux, all of them. So those are ranked very high in my non-mutual standing. So if I'm following somebody, let's say because I have a contest, the chances of me looking and seeing your content become very, very slim. And I'm getting more and more mutuals. So it's Twitter, I have a lot of mutuals. To the point where even though I think I am following everybody I mentioned, but I don't have time to be responding to them. on Twitter. I definitely am following them. I follow way too many people on Twitch, and I follow way too many people on YouTube. And the truth of the matter is that I only really watch mutual videos. That's all I really watch. So if you really want me to watch your content, follow me. YouTube's a little bit tricky because you can hide your follow, but Twitch definitely. I do not watch. I do not. It it is really, it's extremely rare that I will watch a non-mutual, other than the big names that I named. And the only reason I would watch them is because somebody said so. But I will go in and I will, somebody will do a raiding party. I will be watching a mutual. They'll do a raid. We'll go into the raid. I'll follow the person in the raid, but I eventually just leave. I usually stay, just because my mutual's there is in support of them, and that's it. I don't even really care what's going on with their stream. If they eventually follow me and we become mutuals, I will definitely go check out their stream. But I only really watch mutual streams on Twitter. And somebody told me to raid non-mutuals, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't really need the list. I don't really need a list of people I'm following that aren't mutuals, because I will only raid mutuals. I don't want to raid somebody and then them going like, who is this person? Because when you raid, you're promoting. And I have so many mutuals that I want to promote. Like, that's really what it boils down to. And I usually raid the mutual who has the lowest viewers at the time, even if I'm only bringing in one or two people. I still only raid that way. It's how I raid. And I still know people who are not affiliate yet, and those, they get kind of like a little bit of priority over it, but not, I wouldn't say a lot. Gotta get them up. But yeah, I'm definitely, it's definitely one of those things about streaming that I follow a lot of people, and I'm slowly getting rid of the toxic community that, because I'm following like all of them. I said 50, I think, the other day, but I'm probably following close to 100 of them. I didn't realize like how many people in that community that I'm following just to follow, and none of them have followed me back. But I could just go down the list and delete like everybody, and I will probably not even hit somebody who's actually a mutual. There's whole sections that I'm now going through, and it's easy for me to know if they're a mutual or not. It's difficult for me to know if they are part of that other community or not. And if they're part of that other community, are they part of several other communities that I'm supportive of? It's too difficult. Like, I started doing that, and it was like really, really difficult to basically pull that off. I gotta not pull it off is basically what it is, and I'm holding to the advice for a little while longer that they said, because they said, oh, you will lose this, the follow, but I'm not a mutual. They don't even know I fucking exist. without following me. So, I mean, not knowing you even exist is like, that doesn't help my cause. Following them is useless. And yeah, they can see me following them, but I'm not worth a follow back. Costs nothing. It's no effort for follow back. And yet I feel like I have to use it as like almost a weapon. YouTube costs nothing for a subscription. Nothing. Cost you nothing. Not even a freaking dime. And yet I gotta freaking use it as a kind of a weapon. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think I'm out of time. I am out of time. Getting gas. Messed that all up. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're having a wonderful time doing it. As always, do cool beans in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Lets me know that you either skip to the end or watch to the end. But either way is fine. And yeah, just letting me know. Lets me know you care. And as always, cool beans. All right, take care.